guys, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be my September wrap-up video, and I read 10 books in September. I'm happy with it. I'm not happy with the fact that I didn't read as many as I would have liked or the books that I would have liked, but I did read some really fantastic books and I'm really happy with what I read. I just would have liked to have read the ones that I planned on reading mostly. Even though all of these books were on my TBR, they just weren't the ones that I really wanted to get to as much. Most of them were, but not all of them. Well, I guess they were. I'm just upset that I didn't get to as many of the books that I wanted to get to. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, they were all books that I really wanted to get to in the month of September. But I just didn't get to all of the ones that I wanted to, so I'm a little upset by that. But oh well, I'll just try and read them, in the next few months, hopefully. Or maybe just next year when I can. I'm not entirely sure. So, yeah. I read 10 books this month. I gave one book 3 stars, and 3 books 4 stars, and 6 books 5 stars. So, let's get started with the books. The first 3 books I have are my In Death books. Oh, also, the reason I only read 10 books this month is because the first week or so, I watched Game of Thrones a lot. I just want to let you guys know that. I love Game of Thrones. It's absolutely amazing. And yeah, I was hooked on it. So, the first 3 books that I read in September were my In Death books. I finally caught up with the series. January is when the next one comes out in this edition, at least. And sorry if you can hear that. What's it called? So, yeah. I finally caught up and I'm really happy. So I read Brotherhood in Death, Apprentice in Death, and Echoes in Death. What's it called? 42, 43, and 44 in the series. Sorry, he's really sick. Okay. So, I really enjoyed all 3 of them. I gave them all 5 stars. They were amazing. I think this one was my favorite just because it had one of my favorite characters that we don't get a lot from him. But I absolutely love him, and you get to see him more in this one, and I think so this one had to be my favorite, but I loved all of them, and I gave them all 5 stars, and the series is amazing, so I think I got my friend to actually pick up the first book in the series, and I'm really happy about that. Next book I picked up is Furthermore by Tahereh Mafi, and this one is about a girl named Alice, and she was born in Farronwood, which is like a land of like magic, color, and stuff like that. And she was born colorless. So yeah, you can see she has no color to her except for the blush on her cheeks and the pigment of her eyes. That's the only color she has. But so Alice is born colorless in this colorful world, and one day a boy from her past comes to her and tells her that he has a task that he must they must go on this adventure to rescue her father, who has gone missing like years ago. He went missing years ago, and so finally Oliver, he knows where he is and he needs her help to rescue him. So they go on this adventure to Furthermore, which is a very magical, mythical, dangerous land. So dangerous that if you meet anybody there and you have some type of magic to you, they want to eat you. That would have been nice to know before, got pushed in. So this was, the concept was really good. And it was good and I enjoyed it. I had some issues with it. So Alice is kind of naive. She's 12, so I can understand this. But Oliver takes her to Furthermore and then tells, and anything that Alice starts to do, like talk to people or, anything else, I can't even think about it. He tells her, no, you can't do that. Don't do it. No. He doesn't give her an explanation. He tells her there's no time to explain or anything like that, but it's like, before, opening the door to Furthermore and pushing her in, you could have sat her down for like 5 minutes and been like, hey, we need to talk about Furthermore. I need to explain that you can't talk to people. I need you not to eat anything because, I'm telling you not to eat. I'm telling you not to talk to anybody. There are certain things, you know, that I need you to do or not do, and can you just do it? And, you know, just explain to her why, and, I mean, 5 minutes, that's all. You know, you took days for her to, just 5 minutes. He didn't do that. And that was kind of annoying. So, you know, anytime she did something, he told her not to do it. They didn't explain to her why until, like, later, because they didn't have any time, and I understood they had no time. But again, before you guys went to Furthermore, you could have explained some things, you know? So that was kind of annoying. I gave this 3 stars. It was enjoyable. I didn't connect as much with the characters. I did like the ending. I thought the ending was, you know, really sweet. I don't know if I'm going to pick up the next book. I think it's a companion. It's not really a direct sequel. We'll see. I'll see how it is. Again, this was good, and I really like the cover, and, you know, I like the idea of it, but the execution was just a tad off for me, so I gave it 3 stars. I finally read The Land of Stories, Book 6, Worlds Collide by Chris Colfer. This is, again, the 6th and final book in the series, and the first book, if you didn't know, is called The Wishing Spell, and it follows these 2 twins, Connor and Alex, and they're these normal everyday twins, and they have a lot of tragedy in their life, and their grandmother gives them a storybook, and when they open it up, they get transported into the book. They get sucked in, and they find themselves in the fairy tale world, and it just goes from there. The series is amazing. I absolutely loved it, and I loved this one. This was the conclusion novel, even though I think there might be more. Even though he said that this was the final book. You never know, there could be more. So this book finally ended the whole series. I'm not going to go into this book because there is, you know, I can't go into it without spoiling any of the other ones, so I'm not going to go into that. But I really did enjoy it, and I enjoyed how everything was done. The only thing is that I don't feel I got enough closure for one of the characters. Alex, I don't feel like I got enough closure with her, and I wish I did. Now, if there is more to the series, then we're fine. Because I got the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, and it came with an interview that Mother Goose gave to Chris Colfer. Yeah, Mother Goose interviewed Chris Colfer, the author. That was amazing. And in it, let's see if I can find it. Alright, let me see if I can find it. Oh, there was something in here that he said that, there might be, okay, so this is kind of Mother Goose saying that, okay, you said that Worlds Collide is book 6 in the series, and it's the last book, but that doesn't mean the Land of Stories is over, is it? And then Chris Colfer is like, why did you wink at me when you asked that? And yeah. And so he's saying, like, you know something I don't. So, I mean, it would be nice to have more to the series. Maybe just some more companion novels or something. I would like that. But again, I feel like I didn't give enough closure with one of the characters, and I would like more to that. So we'll see. But I really enjoyed it, and I gave it 5 stars. Next 2 books I read are both manga. They are both 3 and 4 in the So Cute It Hurts manga by Goei Kiyamada. And I just dropped one of them. Happens to me every time. So these are really cute. This is about 2 twins, 1 boy, 1 girl. Mitsuru is the boy and the girl is Megumu. And Mitsuru goes to an all-boys school and Megumu goes to a co-ed school. And Mitsuru is failing history in his class, and Megumu is like a history buff kind of, so he asks her to switch places, and they end up falling in love with students at the other schools, and it's really great. I really liked it, and I gave both of these 4 stars. After volume 2, I was like really really worried with how Volume 3 would go because of what was happening. But I'm really happy with what's going on, and I can't wait for Volume 5. I gave both of them 4 stars. I don't know if I said that. And then I read both Night Study and Dawn Study by Maria V. Snyder. These are both 5 and 6 in the Poison Study series, and this is the finale of the series. I got to complete 2 series? Yeah, because I caught up with 1. So I completed 2 series, and I'm really happy. I completed Worlds Collide, I guess, kind of. I'm really hoping there's more to the series. But I completed Worlds Collide, which completed the Land of Story series, and I completed these 2, which completed the Poison Study series, and I'm really happy that I got to do that. It was really great. Night Study just follows from Shadow Study. It continues right off from Shadow Study, and I can't really explain these without spoiling any of the others. But in what happened with Shadow Study, which goes, so there's like 9 books in the series. There's the first 3, which is Poison Study, Magic Study, and Fire Study. There's the Glass Trilogy, which is from Opal's point of view, which is a character from the Poison Study series. And then there is the Soul Finder Trilogy, which is this trilogy. And then so yeah, there's a lot of books in the series. There's a lot of like stuff you need to know before picking up. Like you don't want to pick up Shadow Study first off because you need to read the first trilogy as well as the Glass Trilogy before getting to it. So it's really, really great, and I really enjoy this whole series. But what Shadow Study did is it's like 9 years after Fire Study or something. So you're getting like a huge gap. So yeah, if you don't read the Glass Trilogy, that whole gap is even worse. And what Shadow Study started to do is giving you more point of view. So in the Poison Study series, or in the Poison Study trilogy, the first trilogy, you're only getting Elena's point of view, really. But in this trilogy, you're getting like Yelena, Valek, Leaf, I think Janko is one of them. You get a lot of more point of views in this trilogy, and I really like that. I did feel like Yelena and Valek, even though they're more like, you know, they're sort of like, they have more time to be together, it just felt like they didn't. But what happened in Night Study was so good, and I really loved it, and I gave it 4 stars because there was a moment in there that was just like, yes to everything. This is great. And then Dawn Study I gave 5 stars because it ended really well, and I really was happy with it. And if, you know, she decided to put more books in the series, I wouldn't say no. I really loved it. The last book that I read in the month of September is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas. And this is the 6th book in the Throne of Glass series. This is Kale's book that was supposed to be a novella, okay? Supposed to be a novella, like maybe 100 or so pages. And it really wasn't supposed to have it really wasn't supposed to be a number in the series. Now, yeah, it's definitely the 6th book in the series because, I mean, it is like 700 pages, and there is more, you know, there is things that happen that will definitely take you on to the next book, which is be the final, and I think that comes out in May, and I can't wait. So this is more of like the 6th book in the series than it would have been a novella, and this is great. I got the Target edition because I wanted the pictures, because I'm just like that. So I still have all the stickers on them too. I was really apprehensive about this book because I'm not a big fan of Kale after book 2 ended, and how book 4 was going. I just wasn't a big fan of him, and a lot of people weren't. But as I was reading this, I was falling in love with it, and I was falling in love with Kale again. I absolutely love it. By the way, you can't read this book unless you read The Assassin's Blade, because there are characters from there that show up in here, so definitely read The Assassin's Blade before reading this if you haven't. But yeah, this is, okay, so what this is that in the 5th book, Empire of Storms, Kale wasn't in it because he was off in Antica another part of the world getting healed after what happened in book 4. So this is Chaol and Antika getting healed during what's happening in Empire of Storms. So that's really great. I think what I'm really happy with is that there was one relationship that was, you know, kind of slowly coming out that I was just like, please don't, please don't. I just wasn't feeling this relationship at all. And I really wasn't feeling it in book 4 either. And then, well, that just took a turn. I was so happy. I really like the relationships that were coming out from this. That's just amazing. I love the relationships from this. I love how Chaol was being. I love that. I love this book. I loved everything about it. And I gave this 5 stars. I loved Chaol. I loved the relationships. I loved some of the humor that was going on. All the stuff that was happening. This was awesome. And that ending though. Oh man. I can't wait for the last book. I really want just one thing to happen in the last book, and yeah, that would be really nice. And there's so much you learned from this book that you didn't know, and you're just like, oh my god, really? It was so good. If you are very apprehensive about picking this up because you're not a fan of Chaol, I understand that, but read it because it's fantastic. You will fall in love with Chaol again. He was just amazing. He was redeemed in my eyes, and I'm really happy with this book. And again, I gave it 5 stars. I don't think I can give anything of Sarah J. Maas's after like book 2 not 5 stars, because and it's funny because mostly with series, like, okay, let's say the Poison Study series, the first book will always be my favorite. I absolutely love the first book, and it always gives me those feels and everything. But with this series, I didn't like Throne of Glass much. Like, I liked it. I gave it, like, I think 4 stars. But as the series goes on, those books just keep getting better and better for me. I absolutely loved this book. I loved Empire of Storms. I loved Queen of Shadows. And I loved Heir of Fire. I mean, after Throne of Glass, I gave 5 stars to all of her books. And it was the same thing with the Court of Thorns and Roses series. Like, even though I gave ACOTAR 5 stars, I just felt, you know, with Court of Mist and Fury, that was freaking fantastic. I gave it 5. I would give it more than 5 stars. I'd give it 100 stars. And then Court of Wings of Ruin, even though I absolutely loved it, and I gave it 5 stars, Court of Mist and Fury was the best. But with these, I don't have a favorite after Crown of Mist, even though I feel like Heir of Fire is where the story took a turn and I absolutely freaking loved it. I don't have a favorite after Heir of Fire. I really don't. And I love the whole series, and I would just continue to reread the whole series. I'm trying to get my friends to read the series. My friend, I keep telling her, Throne of Glass is good, but you need to just keep reading, and you will just love it like I do. Like, I can't wait for the next book. And it's the same thing with ACOTAR. You need to read it, even though the first book is really good. The second book is just fantastic. The second book is my favorite. She owns them, she just hasn't read them yet. It hurts. But she has a lot of books to read, and I understand that. So, yeah, that's all of it for me today, guys. That was my wrap-up. I hope you enjoyed it. And, yeah, I'll see you again with another video soon. Thanks again. Happy reading. Bye.